Last video we started to do the rebuild on our NV4500, which is going pretty smoothly up to this point. So let's keep going on that. We'll get all the gears, synchros, and bearings onto the main shaft, get our main shaft installed, and see where that puts us. So this is going pretty fast at this point. We have everything assembled onto the main shaft that we need to be assembled on there in order to put it back into the case. So we're gonna do just that. Let's put this back in the case and then we'll get the bearings put on. Hopefully we're not missing anything, but this is going pretty smooth. This is a part I should show you guys what I did because it's different than the video I was following. I don't have a press. The guy in the video didn't have one either, but he did it a little bit differently. So I had to get this bearing on the output shaft of the main shaft. And so here's what I did. The problem is if you're gonna, press it on or hammer it on somehow, you've got this room up here for the shaft to move and vibrate. So what I did is I got a couple stakes and put them on each side just like that. So then when I hammered on the bearing, it didn't push the shaft in more. These stopped it. Now I did not directly hammer on the bearing. What I did is I got my old bearing that I pulled off of the old main shaft, I put it on there, and then I got this block of wood right here, and then I used this big huge honking hammer and just hammered it on, just switching different spots and getting it to go on, and that went on just fine. The bearings just fine. So anyways, that's what I did. Little pro tip again there from someone who's never done this before. I'm tired, I'm hungry. I haven't driven Lieutenant Dan in a long time. I'm gonna get the kids and we're gonna go grab some food real quick in Lieutenant Dan. We'll be back in the garage in no time.
Chicken nuggets, fries, cheeseburger. No! No, apple pie. Pie? Apple pie, girl. No, apple pie. That stuff that you use. Stuff that you use.
We might be stuck, Lily. Okay, you guys get out and push it.
Okay. No, not you. No,
push us straight back there.
Back, like back there?
Yeah, straight back.
Oh my gosh.
Push, quick. Okay, now come behind us and push us that way.
That way?
Yeah.
Ready?
Hey, the Jeep is dead. At Burger King. And yeah, we got gas already, so I don't know what's going on. Alright guys, we are officially stranded in Lieutenant Dan. He let us down. We just filled it up with fuel and it died in the drive-thru of Burger King. So gotta figure that out now. Well guys, that turned into a little adventure that I didn't bargain for. So I gotta figure out what's wrong with Lieutenant Dan. For some reason it's not getting fuel. I don't know if the carb is gummed up or what, but I'm gonna dig into it. But it was an adventure and we got home. We have the output shaft done as far as we can get it for right now. Now we need to hop to the input shaft. So first things first, the old bearing is still on the input shaft, so we got to try and get that off. I don't have a press. We're going to see what we can do to get it off. Well guys, I made a mess of the bearing on the input shaft. Tore the cage off with a screwdriver. There's all the rollers. So now we got to get the main part of the bearing off. So I went to Harbor Freight and I got a bearing puller set. So we're going to open this up, get the rest of that bearing off, and then I'm going to show you guys a cool trick to get the new bearing on without having to have a press. All right, we should be able to tighten this thing down and it should pull the bearing. Okay, I got it torqued down quite a bit, but it's not budging, so I'm going to give it some heat again and see if that breaks it loose. Oh yeah, that's working. Okay, you can see it's coming off. We're going to use heat and just go back and forth, heat and wrenching. There you can see it is almost off. A couple more turns of the ratchet and we'll be off. There we go. All right, so this Harbor Freight puller worked pretty good. It was 50 bucks, but money well spent. There's no way I could have gotten that off without a press. So now let's get the input shaft cleaned up, and then I'm going to show you how to put the bearing back on. And you can imagine it's going to be a pain in the butt, but I have a trick. All right, we've got the input shaft all cleaned up. It's finally cooled down. That actually took a couple hours for it to cool down. So we got to get the new bearing on this. So let me show you guys a trick. So to do this, we're going to need to head in the kitchen. I've got my apron, so we're all ready to go. Get this put on. Oh yeah. What do you guys think? How's the apron? We're going to take our welding gloves because this is going to get hot. So we're going to leave the input shaft here. We're going to take our new bearing inside and I'll show you how we're going to do this. All right, so here we are in the kitchen. We've got our air fryer. Got our new bearing. I'm going to set it to 400 degrees. Put it in there and start. So we're going to get this nice and hot, about 400 degrees. That should expand the metal a little bit, so it should slip right on that input shaft.
5 minutes later.
All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's pull it out and take it back out to the garage. Woo, nice and hot. There we go. Goes right on just like that. So I did it about 5 minutes at 450 degrees in the air fryer. There we go, input shaft is in there. Now we have to put our, I don't even know what this is called, but we have to put it on and we have to check the clearances. We'll do that and then, I don't know, the main shaft is in. We got to put the reverse gear and everything back on, but we're making good progress. So what we need to do today, we've got this piece that covers the input shaft bearing and it has a race in it, and we have to get that old race out and put the new race in. So there you can see that race in there. We have our new one right here. Now this one is difficult to get out. I think there's actually a tool for this, but I don't have it. So here's what we're going to do, and this is what I found online is a good option to do. I've got this huge washer. We're gonna drop it right there, and we're gonna weld that washer in, and basically it's gonna weld to the race. Then we can come from this side and pound that race out, and we can press our new race in. So let's give that a try. Look at those welds. There we go. There's our old race. Washer welded in there. Alright, so let's get this cleaned up and get our new race put in. Alright, so before we put the race in, we're going to put our new seal in. And that's another thing, don't put your new seal in with that old race in and have to weld it, because all that heat will ruin this seal. So I don't have a seal press kit, and I was looking for a good socket. I don't have one, but what I found is the 5th gear nut. Perfect fit to press this seal back in. Bingo, that worked perfectly. Okay, we got our new race sitting on here. We've got our old race with the washer welded in. We're going to use that as our punch. Alright, we got that race in, we got the seal in. That was fairly easy to do, so let's get this thing all buttoned back up. Perfect, got the shims right on the first try. We've got our new main shaft completely installed, along with the new bearings and races. So that was a lot of progress today. I feel like there's nothing that any of you couldn't do that I have done in this rebuild series. This has been fairly straightforward. Just take your time, have some patience, and you've seen I've had to get slightly creative because I don't have all the tools that probably you guys don't have as well, so you can pull this off. Next video, we're gonna get everything else done on the transmission. We're gonna get the 5th gear assembly put on, PTO covers, top cover, tail housing, bell housing. Maybe we'll even mate it up to the engine so you guys can see what that's gonna look like. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you guys in the next video.